Super Bowl LV11 Chiefs vs. Eagles betting review pick to win, top props, and more. 554.
Have you considered improved at it, but it's been a problem all year long. So I think as they've gotten better, the defense has gotten better because they've been able to turn those pass rushers loose.
One thing I look at, too, is the Eagles' ability to run the football. That offensive line is playing as good as anyone. They're being road graders up front. And I think if you're looking at this game and probably how Nick Sirianni sees it, not that you're trying to play keep away, but you'd love to limit the amount of times you have to see Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce in the Andy Reid offense. So,
B3.
There's also the other side of the football, helping out the Eagles defense. Run the football, dominate the line of scrimmage like they have, and not play keep away, but again, turn up some of that clock. And I think they can be really successful.
February 1st, 3 days ago.
They've been with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, some of their big play receivers.
Today's February 4th, 2023.
I think that's the other side of the ball you got to keep an eye on. That could dictate the way this game
Happy birthday to my son Christian, who turned 21 today.
Across the board.
I would say Philly, though, in my opinion.
Philly's the best. Philly's the best offensive line in the league.
And I think there's a gap before you get to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Then you start looking at each side of the defensive fronts, which you get to. And I think it's Philly. And there's a gap before you start talking about the Chiefs. Now, Chris Jones is a phenomenal player.
He's the best.
Best interior T-tackle in the league. He can't do it all himself. Yeah. Even as much as Steve Spagnuolo moves him around.
Frank Clark shows up in the playoffs, though. He's got a ton of sacks.
But it's in part because of Chris Jones, the way they move him around to get all that attention.
Do you want to sport in this year's Super Bowl, including the first set of brothers playing on the field to go up against each other in Jason and Travis Kelce? Now, Jason, of course, was part of that Eagles squad that won Super Bowl 52. He knows firsthand how hard it is to get to the big game.
There's a sense of urgency here. We have a really good team. We have a great roster. You're only going to get so many chances to do something.
You're only an idiot. What'd you say? You're only an idiot.
You're only going to get so many chances to do something special.
Oh, you're only going to get.
He realized it very early on that year that we had a chance to do something great. And, I think you go into every year, quite honestly, thinking you're going to go to the Super Bowl. It's hard to go into a year like not expecting to be great. It just doesn't happen often.
I mean, this feeling never gets old. I don't think it'll ever get old.
All right, so far nobody actually gave a pick with all these predictions, except for down here, Jack Ace Baisley said 42-10 Eagles win. 42-10. That'd be 52 points. It would be 2 points towards taking the over of 49.5. I just think that the number 13 is going to be the key number to the equations of what the scores are going to be, whether points are added or subtracted or total. 13 is definitely the number, because even Super Bowl 57 minus 13 that's going to get you to 44. I is the number 9.
Marks the first time oh, how convenient. My power just went from 44 to 13.
How do you figure that? Well, I is the number 9. I equals 9. You have 4 points where the cross is. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus 9. I think it's just better to see it literally done like this, to implant what's going on here with the number 13. When you have power and your percentage is at 44%, when you cut down on the power, you're subtracting the 13. You're subtracting the good steward, the number 13, from 44, and that'll give you, leave the 13 up. But first, take the 44 minus the 13. When the power goes out, this would be 4 touchdowns and 1 field goal. So it would be like 4 to 1 ratio. What possibly could a cross and a crown equal in numerology?
Abel will be getting a tattoo defiling his body
June 3rd, 2018.
of what? 3, 4, 5 crosses and a crown.
This is Andrew's final video on this channel. 3, 4, 5 crosses and a crown. If I was looking at crosses as touchdowns, 7 points altogether, and crowns as a field goal, and I'm lining it up with the number 44, if you're picking 4 crosses, which is 4 times 7, it's 28, plus 1 crown, that would get you 30. That would get you 31 points. And the idea is, if someone says 3, 4, 5 crosses, you're going to know it's the middle cross to take the number with the third base coach signs that they give you. So take the middle as a cross, which is 28 points, and then 1 crown, because that's what one team is going to get, 31 points.
Abel will be getting a tattoo defiling his body of what? 3, 4, 5 crosses and a crown in Jerusalem.
And when you say in Jerusalem,
And a crown in Jerusalem.
the Philadelphia Eagles, the eagle is the king of the air, the king of the airwaves. So the Eagles, Jerusalem, representing the winning team in the end, right here, Super Bowl 57. The winning team would equal Jerusalem. But how many points are they going to score? Because right here you have 35, but that's if you're counting 5 crosses altogether and 3 crowns, because 35 points is 5 touchdowns altogether. If the score is 31 to 13, Eagles over the Chiefs, 31 to 13, then that means the Eagles scored 4 crosses. Kansas City scored 1 cross, but they got 2 crowns, and then the Eagles kicked the crown. They kicked 1 crown, and the Chiefs kicked 2 crowns, which was 6 points. And at the end, in Jerusalem, there's going to be 28 points, because the total amount of touchdowns is right here on this page, 35 points worth of touchdowns for both teams. And then this one is for Jerusalem, the team that's going to win. They get 28 points in touchdowns, and then a 3-point crown altogether, just on this page alone.
35 will tour Jordan, Israel, and occupied Palestine territories.
Let me see if I can interpret that one. 35 will towards Jordan, Israel, Philly, where they're on the map. First, with this map, here's Citizens Bank Park, and in the background you can see the buildings up there. You just go up a little bit. See them? They're similar to. When you take a look at this building here, it has the Comcast building look to it. And this is a football stadium. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns. It has 5 crosses, and 3 jet fighters flew by, but 5 explosions went out. So there's 3 of them, but there's 5 explosions. So you've taken the number 5 3 times, which is 5:55 a.m. between the 6th and 9th hour. Philadelphia having a little bit of strength in the background from the stadium here. Try this again. See that one right there? There's like a clock tower, just referencing possibly where the William Penn building is on that side, and then 17th JFK where the bank is, because that's the golden ticket at 5:55 a.m. because it's on the back of a $50 bill. So I'm going to that building right there. It has like a ledge and it's lit up. But this one here is the Comcast building where the windows of heaven are open. And it's right there at 17th and JFK, which is right down below from Liberty 1 and Liberty 2, those twin towers. And Liberty 2 is 848 feet tall. And it's splitting the spear and cutting the spear in two. Because of the water streams to 69 holes and something that resembles a Jacob's ladder, which is where the water stood still at 8:48 a.m. that day when Barack Obama came to Philly at the link, which means also the Eagles are playing in the Super Bowl 57. Lincoln Financial Field is being represented by the Eagles. So this is Chase Bank, and it looks like it's on the back of a $50 bill. Here you have the 5, 5th. You got the 5, the 5th T, and then 5. So that's the time, 5:55. It has the same lip down at the bottom, similar to it. It has the long green rectangular windows, and it looks like there's smoke at the top of it, right around the 2nd, 3rd floor. And back here, it has the reindeer to it, the image that's cut out. So I just placed the reindeer, and I was thinking that was going to happen on Christmas. Instead, this is going to be the Christmas present. It's going to be like Christmas. And then this is the person on planet Earth that I've never seen anybody contest with being the first one to show you how to fold the money with US currency. And it, depending on your perception, what you believe, whether it showed the bombings on Twin Towers or not, the past Twin Towers, Liberty One, or I'm sorry, they're the future ones. Tower 1 and Tower 2 with the first 9/11. The second one being planned. It looks like it was being planned in Philly the entire time. So, if so, I don't know if anybody can actually find this person with the name, like per se, on planet Earth. But all I can tell you is I learned by watching you.
Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
So, since August 13th, 2019, up until now, February 4th, 2023, it's about 3.5 years. It's almost 1,290 days from, as of right now, 3 years, 5 months, and 22 days. I've been paying attention to someone that obviously on my first, hold on, let me start like this. That's the end, that's the beginning. So when I started, I'm going to scroll up here. From the time I started taking screenshots, this is everything I've learned from Jonathan Klecks. Now, when you go down to the beginning, the funny thing is, the date is 8/13. 8/13. And what I was saying was, I knew damn well you had the first view when I upload my video about a view basketball video talking to Jamie the Wabbit. Oh, the one where you were pretending to be a female, where you were commenting on Sater's channel from that account. So yeah, I watched the video. Sorry if I'm the only one that did. Meaning, my highest stream reviewer is Jamie. And Jamie proved it because I uploaded a video and he, before anybody even got a view on my troll account, he was talking about it in a comment section already. So I said, no, you were the first person that viewed it and the video didn't have any views. You told everyone it was my account on the Sater's channel when that video never had a view. So that's how I caught you, Jamie, on 8/13. Let me head over to the elephant in the room, the Lakeland Regional Medical Center. Here's your 13, because instead of losing power, this would, and if anybody's talking code, instead of saying this,
Marks the first time oh, how convenient. My power just went from 44 to 13.
my power went from which is a subtraction from 44, 13 off of 44. So instead of saying that, you would say something like my power went to 8.5. Because what you're doing is you have the period, you're adding the 5. Now this 8 becomes a 13. Either way you look at it, 8, 13, and then 50 is what the point spread is right now for Super Bowl 57.
According to sportingnews.com, Super Bowl 57 odds, line, spread. Opening spread, Chiefs minus 1.5. Money line, Chiefs -110/Eagles minus 110. Over, under, 49.
All right, so it was at 49.5. I don't know if it is going to change again and go up to 50, but as of right now, it's 49. I believe this is part of the Crosse package because 8.1 is 13, which would be one crossing. Because if you cross over the end zone, then it becomes a touchdown. Now, a crown could be just an extra point to make it 7 complete. But if there's a big drastic difference between 5 crosses and 3 crowns, who misses 2 extra point field goals? The crossing and the crowns.
And like their dad got a tattoo on their arms depicting 5 crosses, and 3 crowns of Jerusalem.
Yeah. When you cross over to the end zone, you get 7 points altogether. So if there's 5 crosses, then that would be 35. 5 touchdowns, it's 35 points. You just need another, to get to 44, you need to add 9, which would be 3 crowns. Let me see. It's 35 plus 9. 9 is 3 field goals, 9 points. So 44 would be the tattoo, would be the number of the tattoo that you'd have to get in order to, from this heliport to this heliport. Because the 44 minus 13 minus 13. So I'm minusing this 13 as well because it's a 13 here and a 13 there. One 13 this way, the other 13 in that way. It's Super Bowl 57. Super Bowl 57 minus 13 in one direction. That's going to get you the tattoo of the 44. And it's also going to line up with my hospital, which is 44. And 44 is also, you got to pass right over Ephesus to the Ford, what'd you say that was again? There's the balloon head. I'll get to that in a minute. Ford Brook. That's right. Kim Jean said the Ford Japheth. There you go. Good. But from here you're going to cross over the Ford Jabeth earnestly, because when you find the chalk mark that Henry Ford, my uncle or grandfather, he got charged $1 from the guy that I think he said Charlie Mack, in order to find the chalk mark to mark, in order to fix the generator to tell you where the problem is. It's a 16 coil, wine coils. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of them. And that's where the chalk mark is. So, yeah, long story short, he charged him $10,000 altogether, $9,999 to show him where the chalk mark is. And he only charged him $1 to make the chalk mark itself. The value is in knowledge, knowing where you came from. So I came from this zoo right here, and it starts with the number 44 as a tattoo. This is a combination package put together in an envelope to hand to Donald Trump to give him the final score. The over-under, it's looking like it's going to be 44 now, is the exact number. So let me just keep this on record. I know I went from saying 30 or 44 to 13 because that made it 57 points, Super Bowl 57, but that's kind of too obvious to make that match. I don't think they ever do it like that. It's February 4th, 2023. This is more like a take it every which way, every direction that you can see the numerology. The 44% losing power to 13%. It's 13 altogether. So that's the number right there because of the because of the 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus the I, which is a 9. Nine plus 4 is 13. 13 is the number of the good steward. And with the Chiefs having 13 points on this helicopter, there's 13 right here. Minus from 44 minus 13. That takes the Eagles to 31. And then you'll have 1, 3, 3, 1 to do the mirror, front to back. And right across Gardner Mary to the Lakeland Regional Medical Center, which has the other helipad. There's your 8 plus 5 in one direction, or even, 8.5 in one direction, 13, and then 13 in the other direction. $13 over here, 13 over here, because in the middle, it's going to look like this. It'll be from left to right. Kansas City Chiefs, 13, plus Philadelphia Eagles, 31, because they scored 4 crossings and a crown. The Chiefs scored 1 crossing and 2 crowns to get 13 plus 31. Plus 13 will get you to Super Bowl 57. And it's all about the number 13. And this will take place in the year 2023 because the Bengals that just lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, who are playing the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl, it's like a rolling tank. The colors, similar colors on the tank itself. The green, basically it's similar to a football, the threads of a football. It looks like a football. It's also green at the top. And you got Princess Diana wearing an Eagles green. And there's the Cincinnati Bengals that just lost. And that's identical to what's on the back of her jacket. Showing you the timeline, the year 2023 with the Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs rolling in like a tank. And the Philadelphia Eagles, PA, Pennsylvania, Eagles, are both in the Super Bowl and you're not. So that's pretty much what I think the message is with Pet Goat 2 as we're in the year 2023. He's saying, sorry, Chiefs. I mean, not Chiefs. Well, yeah, at the end, but sorry, Cincinnati Bengals. It's over. PA is in. Like, damn it. And the Bengals are out. Yeah, you would love to play in the Super Bowl, but you're not, because you're not Philly. They're gonna love winning Super Bowl LV11, the second one in Philadelphia. The Eagles are gonna love winning the Super Bowl 31-13. Oh man, in Super Bowl 57. Does it count if, let's say it's not 31-13, it was my original score of 44-13. Does it still count? Like, do I get like a second prize for predicting at least the actual score? But then I change my mind because it just seems to make more sense. Making the combination of the score the number 1 and the number 3. Number 1 and number 3. Number 3 and number 1. Back to fourth and back. 57, Super Bowl 57. Minus 13, the good Stewart would be the tattoo, number 44. It's like 3, 4, or 5 crossings. Well, pick the middle one. Pick the 5. Or 6. It could be 6 actual. It's going to be 6 touchdowns. Is how I'm seeing this being played out. Now, isn't this also like an arrow being pierced? The arrow being pierced, the eagle has the highest ranking of the birds in the air. the highest, the king of the air, being pierced by the Roman soldier. And who they're piercing is going to be their final score, because that's the final time. And it's over for the Chiefs because the eagle has landed. And it landed 10 miles from El the Almighty God Stadium. Because it's the Eagle Doctor. It's the Eagle Doctor. And it's Kansas City that they're playing in the Super Bowl, which is, if you go with the under 44 and you get the exact number of the Super Bowl being 31-13 Eagles, then the land of Oz, where you're not in Kansas anymore, Oz starts to pray with the eagle in the air. And the China boots on the ground, probably kicking in teeth. If I was to say, what would be the meaning of a tooth for a tooth? Maybe they're going to kick your teeth in. Did I just see this on Jonathan Klecks' necklace? What is that? Looks like a... If I didn't know any better, I'd say it's almost the identical little emblem you got going on there.
3, 2, 1 before the fire. Okay, I'm working on basically 3 things right now.
3 things, three touchdowns, 3 field goals? Are you working on 3 field goals? That way I can get the number 9, which is really three crowns, because it's 3 crowns and it's 5 crossings altogether to make it the tattoo, the tattoo, the 44, because you're part of the 144. You're part of the 100, because the H or the I, whichever way you want to look at it, H or the I, is 144. 144. The 144.
I want to deliver what I told you I have from the last video, but guys,
Look how bright that is. Because it's right by the boot, right by the China boot, where it's a tooth for a tooth. That's pretty damn similar.
I got to organize it in a way that even someone that's new to this channel will be able to understand. What's getting delivered is definitive.
13 represents the end of a cycle and rebirth for a new cycle. It's a powerful number in nature and in spirit. 13 is the only teen number in the Fibonacci sequence. I wonder if that sequence involves Super Bowl 57's numbers in the year 2023, because that's what Pet Goat 2 says, with the Bengals, the Chiefs, and the Eagles. see the mirror? This is mirroring whatever's on the other side. Right from the beginning of showing you as it's zooming out. And you have your 23 here. And you got your clock tower, which looks like the William Penn Tower. And then you have twin towers in that direction over there. You have your twin towers, just like in Philly where the clock tower is. After you hop back up here. In this direction, there's two tall towers. We're like that. It's about the same trajectory. And it's just like the Statue of Liberty, where from the Statue of Liberty, you can see right between the two twin towers. Same thing with William Penn here. Liberty 2, Liberty 1. It's even the same color. Same color, bluish tint to it. Right between the two towers. So it's a year 2023. It's going to be mirrored in the year 2023. Because the Chiefs are on the left-hand side of the scoreboard. And then the Eagles would be on the right-hand side. And that would be the mirrored 13-31. 31-13. Price entries on Gematrix, level playing field. Nothing but love. The art of war. Nothing wrong. All mine unlegal entities in my name. What our last name is. Jesus the Messiah. 133. Reach every child. You mean 11 more? Winter is here, so pray that your flight isn't here right now. You're taking flight 393. Jesus Christ, I am back. God's my number one all the time. So it's always going to be about number one. Number one. My luck is about to change, eh? It's all backwards. So 1331 is backwards at some point. God's androgynous Sophia. Personal Jesus, son of the dawn. E.B. born 1331. 13. Kansas City Chiefs 13. 13. Kansas City Chiefs 13. Philadelphia Eagles 31. In order to make the total score 100, 44, 100 and 44, because the 3 is separate from the 1. Then you have you get the angel there, and the 144, 144. One three, 3 1. 1 3 mirrored 3 1, 13. Add that up, it equals the tattoo.
You got to take note that he is going to defile his temple. And to defile his temple is to get his first tattoo in the end times, which is May 25th, 2018. This was recorded at 9:30 a.m. So, statement with this tattoo that he's going to be getting on his temple. I know a lot of people's done it. I've done it myself, and I'm not proud of it. It's been revealed that you shouldn't defile your temple. Tattoos are nothing but portals for demonic entities to enter into your temple. Will this tattoo that he will be defiling his temple with, will it open a portal up for something to enter him?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, let's read.
It's the holy place.
The Holy Land. And like their dad, got a tattoo on their arms depicting 5 crosses.
Touchdowns.
5 crosses. And 3 crowns of Jerusalem.
Field goals.
There's something going on with, he's the eldest. He's Abel. His younger brother is Cain. And you know the story.
Prince William, is jetting off to over in England next month, and that's the same time when Andrew disappeared also. Talking about Prince William, Abel, and Cain, his brother. This number is 1 crossing over the end zone, and then 2 crowns, 2 field goal conversions. And this mirrored image with the Eagles scoring 31 would be 4 crossing over the end zone, which makes a total of 5, and 1 crown, which makes it a total of 3. So that would be 3 field goals to make it to 13-31. And then on top of that, if you just you add up that score, it equals the tattoo, 44. And 13 from that takes you to 57, which is Super Bowl 57. And there's 2 directions of the 13, which way it goes. The center point is the 31. That's the middle. It's like 1, 2, 3. The second one, the middle. And then on the left side, 13 would be there because that's the score of the Cheifs. And on the right side, it would be 13 minus from 57, Super Bowl 57, which takes you to 44.
Marks the first time oh, how convenient. My power just went from 44 to 13.
So when the power goes from 44 to 13, it's like a minus, a subtraction from 44. That's a line. If you just straighten it out a little bit, it becomes a negative, as in subtraction. (44) minus 13. The I is the 9, and the 4 points is the 4. So 9 plus 4 is 13. The Cheifs, the I, the letter Chief is, the I is the center letter in Chief, so it fits right over it. There's your I fitting right in the I landing pad right there. There's your score, 13 Chiefs. And then it's 44 altogether. So it's 31 Eagles, subtracting.
Marks. The first time oh, how convenient. My power just went from 44 to 13.
So, considering Andrew here disappeared, this is the last video, giving you a heads up of what the Super Bowl score is going to be when it's time to be, brought back into the scene, into the temple. Not giving you an exact score, because I don't think anybody can do that. I don't even think anybody's going to predict. Do they even predict scores on live do they give predictions, or they're not even allowed to? Because can you imagine people getting the right score and betting a bunch of money on it? Like betting that it'll be 13-31 and why it would be 13-31?
William is going to Israel.
All right. William's going to Israel next month and you disappeared. Okay.
Not only this, you got to take note that he is going to defile his temple. And to defile his temple is to get his first tattoo in the end times, which is May 25th, 2018. It's a royal family tradition. When Prince William jets off to Israel next month, he will make history as the first official visitor from the royal family to the country.
You hear that? Remember, he's jetting off. Andrew disappeared. Last video, this is the last video. So obviously the last video would be some of the really important, especially the last day. Your last 4 videos, one was about
this coming up.
One was about the day before, so June 2nd.
28th of June. 44% on my battery life.
What?
Alright, there's some things we gotta look at. So
and it's my hospital where I was born at? That's crazy coincidence.
June 28th, I believe, is Robin's birthday.
And it is. June 28th, it's my birthday. Where was I born? Polk General Hospital, Bartow, Florida. Since then, the name has changed from Polk General Hospital, even though the soap opera is still running thick every day, but it went from Polk General Hospital to the Regional Medical Center, to the Bartow Regional Medical Center, where the Eagle has landed. The Eagle Doctor, Eagle Drive, where there's the ruler on the corner. So you got to make your point. You have to make the point. Here's the point. You have to actually make one, because there isn't one. You need to fill in that little point, the last piece of the puzzle. There's only one car there, and that's yours. Who pulled up? Whose car is that? Who's making the point here? Oh, look, there's even a footnote. It's like this foot here, the footnote. Of this calf looking kind of it's like the feet are really, this is what the calf really looks like with the species, the other race. But when you put on a fleshly bodysuit, it'll change you'll turn into Bigfoot. But you'll also have that robotic arm. That's spitting out like Spider-Man, his web. With Homer Simpson here. And RoboCop. And the dolphin. Joseph and his brothers. At Dolphin, the Bahamas, Obama. Is Obama going to wipe out Donald Trump in a flood? Because he basically is right here. With the baby in its belly. Or even simply in the beast, in the belly of the beast. So you see the hair on the back? Kind of looks like Elvis a little bit. And he got his wife behind him. Looks like she's screaming at him, really. With her mouth wide open. Tongue. The eye. And the hair. But it's coming from the back of his tail. So it's like his wife is right behind him. Has a scorpion tail. And has a baby in its stomach. Which would be a son of man, because this is really a man with the tail, what the serpent beguiled Eve, and Adam did eat. Look at that alligator coming up. Eye here, raising up from out of the water. Because there's, how many alligators are in Florida?
According to azanimals.com, there are 1.3 million alligators inhabiting the state of Florida, based on an annual census of 50 sites across the state. Biologists estimate the size of an alligator in the water based on the distance between the eyes. Adult male alligators can measure up to 14 feet long and weigh around 1,000 pounds. The 10 most alligator-infested states, ranked 1. Louisiana, 2 million. Louisiana has the most alligators out of any U.S. state. 2. Florida, 1.3 million. Florida is home to plenty of alligators, especially.
Today, Pastor Greg Laurie was talking about Powerball lottery thing going on right now. You know that prize? Let's see, what prize are you talking about? Someone's going to win. I think it's at $1.3 billion, right? For the Powerball, $1.3 billion.
Be aware of the fact that there's a Powerball lottery thing going on right now. Do you know that that prize has now exceeded $1 billion? Can you imagine how that would change the life of a person? Someone's going to win it. I think it's at 1.3 right now. Unbelievable. Their life will be changed. And, I don't know if it will be changed for the better. I know it will be changed. But imagine to be going about your life one day, maybe working at minimum wage and your car's breaking down, and then you win that. And by the way, this is not an endorsement of the lottery. I hope your takeaway point is, Pastor Greg said go buy lottery tickets. I'm not encouraging you to do that, but if you win, remember to tithe, okay? Because
no, I'm just saying I'm not sure exactly how it goes.
3 days ago.
But if the odds are 1,000 to 1 and you bet $1,000 on something, like the actual score itself, 44 to 13, and the odds of even figuring out, like the odds, what are the odds? I'm gonna have to Google this. What are the odds? Odds are 1,000 to 1 and you have $1,000 to bet. I may even do it. No, I don't even have $1,000 to bet.
No.
But if the odds are 1,000 to 1, doesn't that mean you'll win $1 million?
Maybe $100.
Look, if you won $1 million, if you felt like sending me some of that, that's fine. You know, if not, whatever. It doesn't matter. The Pharaoh is my buddy anyway, so it's not like I'm gonna need money.
I'm not encouraging you to do that, but if you win, remember to tithe, okay? Because
1 day ago, as I was talking about it 3 days ago.
The number they'll use the losing team to set the number 13 because they're the ones that are winning. And so it's
spiritual wealth. I think you're probably aware of the fact that there's a Powerball lottery thing going on right now. Do you know that that prize has now exceeded $1 billion? Can you imagine how that would change the life of a person? Someone's going to win it. I think it's at 1.3 right now.
How convenient. My power just went from 44 to 13.
44. Losing power, losing battery life, losing 13, going down to 13%. That would bring you to 31 from 44. So when you catch Kim Jean before the title transfers over on the same day, January 31st, to how a bad Christian can become a great prayer warrior, Genesis 31:14. This was added on after at least 731 views, but I'm sure even sooner than that it was changed immediately. And you really got to be one. I mean, you got to be a highest trained reviewer in order to catch this. So 44 minus 13 is going to give you 31. So 31 is actually what the Eagles score instead of 44. So I was off a little bit because as I hear the number 31 and 13 so often, and you just mirror, because it's about the Super Bowl coming up, the Eagles and the Chiefs. 57, because it's in Petco 2, and it shows the destruction right after or during the same video. So 31 and 13 would be 44. So nobody's given nobody's going to give you the exact score, but it's going to be a roundabout. And it could be nothing. It could be absolutely not even close to my prediction. But I still enjoy doing it anyway. Especially when you take a snapshot. When these things pop up, you have to be looking at the screen to even see it, or else you're not going to catch the official teaser from The Chosen Season 3, Episode 5. So there's 3 5s. 555, 17th and JFK. As it looks like during the Eagles, while the Eagles are playing at the Link all year, and they represent Lincoln Financial Field, there's 3 jet fighters, but 5 explosions. So 3 plus the 5. Even if you want to go 3 times 5 is 15, and then divide it by 3 is 555. Chase Bank would be where the money is, because the trajectory of where Lincoln Financial Field is, and just giving you a direction where it's going next, or even with the Super Bowl itself. Maybe the event happens at the Super Bowl. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think about even though it's in Arizona, it's not in Philly, but the Eagles are still going to be playing because it is a wounded head still. I'm sure I predicted before that Super Bowl, whatever, would there be destruction in it, or Eagles game where there would be the destruction would happen there at the place. And then it's just showing you where the fire is going to go next with 3 and 5 at 555 Philadelphia, and then it has a little bit of strength. Also, even if it's just representing a football, it's showing you that the destruction is happening in that timeline when those football teams are playing, that we showed when the tanks came rolling in and the woman was trying to slow down the tanks. But first, the swamp is being drained, burying the hatchet, tooth for a tooth. There's nothing but swampland in Florida. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tanks are coming. And the color of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles is on this tank coming to the Cincinnati Bengals, who just lost. And the champion is PA of the ones that are in the tank together, the Super Bowl tank. Who's in the Super Bowl tank is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. But what Skeletor here is saying is PA is going to win the whole shebang. And they're going to win it with 4 crosses and one crowning. 4 crosses of the end zone, which will get you 28 points. And then 1 crown when you're kicking the football up on the crown, the field goal. You get the crown for 3 points, which we give Philadelphia 31. And then the mirror, because it's on the other. The score of the Eagles is where the eagle landed. It's right here. The score of the Eagles with the amount of points, which would be 31. It's where the eagle landed. It's a footnote, just like Paul Labout Tillier said. There's a footnote. And the tattoo on your temple, 44 minus 9 plus 4 is 13. So 44 minus 13 is going to get you the Eagles score of 31. That's how it works, I hope. That'd be so great if it was true. Even if I didn't even bet anything, which I probably won't. Maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe like $100 just to, and just to get like 1,000 or something, or 10,000. I would go with the under, which would be 44 points total. And then to predict what would you win if you predicted what's the Super Bowl score going to be? Well, it's going to be 44 total. All right, well, who's going to score what? The Eagles are going to win, number one. So if you get that, you win something. But if you can get the score, the total score, and not just, well, I'm going to bet the Eagles. Well, I'm going to bet that the score is going to be under 50. Well, All right, so you get that. And then how much for the exact score? Then you get that bonus for the exact score. If it was 44, then you get the exact score. And then another bonus is to get who's going to get what then. Eagles get 31. Chiefs get 13. What do you get for that? Is it a 13? Is it $1.3 billion to get it right? That sure would suck if I didn't bet anything whatsoever and I just nailed it down. And oh well. Hopefully somebody benefits from it. If what I'm saying makes sense, and you know how you have money and you can afford to not even, you can afford to lose $1,000. But you've been paying attention to me for quite some time and you see the direction of, I don't know exactly where everything is, but I learn as I go and I see the direction of things because I'm being led to being seen earnestly by various different people what direction I need to be looking at crossing over to Ford Jabeth, where China, the boots on the ground, and Kim Jong is all around this area, just all around it, giving me direction. So here, you would have to conclude it's 31. And you're not going to outright see the number 31. Just like you're not going to outright see the number 13 either for the elephant in the room, which is Gardner Mary at 300. Gardner Mary with the football stadium, L. L is the Almighty God at 50-50. So you're not going to see that the 13 itself, but just like you're not going to see the 31 in the Eagles, you have to subtract, and then the other one you have to add. So this one would be addition. 8.5 would be 8 plus 5, which is 13. And then the destruction comes on the $50 bill next. I mean, if the Super Bowl plays out exactly the way I'm saying it, and I'm predicting the future, finally, like I finally got something dead on. Ah, that would be such a great feeling, even if I didn't even make a dime from it, because I would keep going back to it and keep going back to it and just drive it home. It's February 4th, 2023, 9:43 p.m. And I feel like I have the Super Bowl pick. It's going to be under 50 points. Because what's it going to be, Robin? Huh? What's it going to be? Is it going to be over or under 50 points? Is it going to be over or under 50 points? It's going to be under. At first I thought it'd be over, but it's not going to be over, but there are some things that are going to be over. And this is why I'm saying it's in two directions. The 8 plus 5 in that direction can start from Super Bowl 57, subtract 13 points. And then you get your 31, which is the Eagles. And then 8 plus 5 in that direction is what this team's going to score. They're going to score 13, and then 31 mirror that, and then 13 again. That gets you your Super Bowl 57. And there's your balloon.
20th of June, 44%.
All right, so I already established the 20th of June is my birthday. I showed you 44%. It's right there at the same hospital that I was born at, which is Bartow Regional Medical Center, but it used to be General Hospital. So even as of yesterday, there's a General Hospital tease.
General Hospital. I really messed up your life.
Everything I did was all for nothing.
Why do I keep coming in second?
You're making a big mistake. Now I'm leaving to protect myself.
I have to be done with this.
Don't you?
Wait a minute. Was that what's his name? Blinking the eye. Caitlyn Jenner? Is that Caitlyn Jenner?
I have to be done with this.
Don't you really mean done with me?
Kinda. Honey bun.
You really mean done with me?
That's right. Polk General Hospital. So just to prove that it is Polk General Hospital, back on June 28, 1976, in Bartow, Florida, and I wind up having a burnt toe, like a barcode on my toe, from the time I can remember. Just to clarify that, I like to type it in. Polk General Hospital, Bartow, Florida, from Gardner Mary. So it takes me from Gardner Mary, 21 miles to Bartow Regional Medical Center. It's no longer General Hospital, but they're still talking about me. And it would be exactly 13 miles. There's the number 13 again between both hospitals. The one that normally when you live 4 miles from this hospital, which is at Ariana, 1702 Ariana. 1702 Ariana Street in Lakeland, Florida. Text Joe 3033 and being born in the 8th District. You know, the 7th and of the 8th can also be the 7th and of the 8th is the same, is from the, like the twin of the, even the clone from the circumcision, using the flesh in order to clone the one that's the 7th and of the 8th. July 1st, 1976. July 6th, 1976. Deputy Joe Cox there, 8 days later from my birth, gave this certificate at Polk General Hospital. Barbara Jean Kopczynski. Jean. Kim Jean. Kim Jean, boots on the ground. Gene Simmons. Boots on the ground. Kim Jean, Doctor, Eagle Doctor. Are you the Eagle Doctor, Kim Jean? I think so, right? I think you may be the Eagle Doctor. And you have Gene Simmons. And Gene Simmons is a perfect fit when you line the eyeballs right up and you line the tongue right up. When you line it all up correctly at the top of the head, where his tongue is sticking out, you see the top of the head. right here. See the top of the head? And the tongue sticking out with his eye here and the makeup and the nose and the other eye and his hand, but probably tail is right on the top. Perfectly fit right about, let's put the top on right there. And when you put the top on, it looks like that was the exact picture that I'm supposed to find to see to show you my dad. Because apparently, or the grandfather or the dad of basically the father of everybody else. And it looks like it's putting the electric cap on your head also for the wheelchair, the electric chair. And then you got your cap here. Looks like it fits right over the head. Because you got Gene Simmons with the fitting of the cap, with his face perfectly fitting in my family portrait. There's the head cap and the feet clamps. I mean, it sure has an awfully similar resemblance to having the feet, the caps down here, and the head cap for the wheelchair to sit in, with the electric being connected here. And you see the vibration of the power from this magnet that's drawing all these beasts to the ark, with the face, the calf is the one, and the bird doctor, the doctor here with the Vlad eyewear, like Jonathan Klecks, Vlad eyewear coming up. This is also what is between as the man is walking. He got his pair of shoes. 4,400. Hunted for dinner. Lost Angels. He got his shoes. Walking with his hands behind his back like Hitler. The way they walk. Their feet kicked up. And the one eye is winking. The other one. The eagle has landed. In 1976, that movie, the eagle has landed. The guy is wearing the eyepiece. There he is. As the eye. That is, whatever. It's just not showing you the eye. And this is Saul, King Saul, the Gibeah, divided man, who has a story, a divided man. Maybe that's also the two become one eventually, as that eye that sags down here. And even in my picture, this eye looks like it could use an eye patch compared to this eye that's going right through my hair. My hair was probably really blonde when I was younger. So you can basically see my dad biding time with his eye through it as an artist would draw in certain things in a picture also. I'm not saying necessarily that these characters are there in person, but that everything could be just taken one at a time and then planted in there to make it a picture. To utilize all the space with the serpent that's here. So it's also looking like a wheelchair, doing a wheelie with the feet portion up here. The head is up there. Oh. I think this is the only portion that they need when your body dies in order to go to your eternal body. They just cut this out. Obviously, it's surgically done by, looks like lasers, robots. It ain't like you're going to move anywhere. You're laying dead, so they're going to take that portion out of you and then plug you into your brand new body. And you're just good to go. Just like that. Like it's nothing. I'm sure it is. Cut open your noggin back here and take out the least amount that they need from that your original fleshly born body. I mean, this is what Skull and Bones is all about. The dry bones. Can these dry bones live again? Sure. Even if you put a complete face mask over you, and then if you don't, if you just want to look like this, well, then you'll kind of look like that. You look like Gene Simmons. Where you been? Where you been, Gene? My mom's name is Barbara Jean. Her mom's name was Jean Kupczynski or Jazinski or some other name. But Jean. And then there's a heterogeneities. Two of them. So going back to Jonathan Kleck, from the very first communication, the very first video that I have saved is from 8/13/2019. The funny thing is, I'm talking to Jamie the Rabbit, but the video is about Jonathan Kleck, and knowing the agent that he is. But to make things even more connected, Jonathan Kleck actually did reply to me on 8/13/2019. And he said, what a joke. Look at his channel in the About section. And when the tribulation started, summer is near. Repent, 7 years of tribulation started. May 21st, 2011. Because you know how Kleck does the makes those back then he did. Yay, the tribulation us over. According to him, chill.
Sorry, Robin Hood and all you shills. You guys are in for deep, 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 deep trouble. By the way, Robin, nerd. Yeah. Anyway.
As I proved communication, February 29, 2020, the very first screenshot that I finally figured out how to do on my phone was on 8/13/2019. And he's making fun of my, how I have in my 7 years of tribulation and 3 years, now I said 3 years and beyond. What do I know? So Jonathan Kleck was, he did comment back at that time, and I clicked on it, and it was his channel. So, from at least what I remember, that was on 8/13. 8/13, 42 months later, is February 13th. Super Bowl Monday. February 12th is the Super Bowl 2023. This is the year. The score of the last game, the Chiefs and Kansas City, was 20-23, letting you know the year. On Monday itself, 42 months exactly since the time that I've studied this professor here on the YouTube platform. Professor Jonathan Klecks is who I started to pay attention to.
And this, V for vengeance. Right side up, upside down. So the Lord God's going to take vengeance on that system now. That's what this is all about.
8/13/2019.
The V with fangs.
The very first video that I recorded of Jonathan Klecks
Represents the vampiric system. And then turn it right side up.
Listen to what's going to happen at the Hoover Dam. I mean, at the house.
It's amazing.
That's right. New at noon, a small explosion and fire have been reported at the Hoover Dam. The incident.
July 19th, 2022. My first video that I kept of Jonathan Klecks, I was already catching on to what's going to happen with the Hoover Dam. Just didn't know exactly when. But now I understand that this was part of the birth pains 6 months ago. So there's a 9 months into pregnancy. July, June, May, April, Mayish, early April, possibly could produce the baby from 9 months.
Represents the vampiric system. And then turn it right side up.
Listen to what's going to happen at the Hoover Dam. I mean, at the house.
It's amazing. All right, off to meet the lambs and see what happens. I'm going to stop at the Hoover Dam. A very strange thing happened at the Hoover Dam. I mean, at my house the morning.
Oh, really?
We got ready to leave. We got up at 4 in the morning. My son had to catch a flight to go meet his mom.
I wonder what's going to happen at the Hoover Dam. There, prophet.
Walked into the kitchen. And he was like asleep. He had only gotten a couple hours of sleep along with myself. And he walked in the kitchen. New
at noon, a small explosion and fire have been reported at the Hoover Dam.
And he just wasn't with the program at all. And he pulled out this big water jug that was filled with water, solid glass. All right, off to meet the lambs and see what happens. I'm going to stop at the Hoover Dam. A very strange thing happened at the Hoover Dam. I mean, at my house the morning.
Oh, really?
We got ready to leave. We got up at 4 in the morning. My son had to catch a flight to go meet his mom.
I wonder what's going to happen at the Hoover Dam there,
and
prophet.
He walked into the kitchen and he pulled out this big water jug that was filled with water, solid glass. And I mean the thick glass. And he held it up to his chest. He got it up here and just dropped it. It was literally a catastrophe.
Oh my goodness! Wow. You mean like at the Hoover Dam?
Gosh. I mean, glass and water.
That's right. New at noon, a small explosion and fire have been reported at the Hoover Dam.
Is that the script that they got you reading?
Shards of glass went everywhere. It was
of course.
It was a catastrophe.
Absolute catastrophe.
I found it interesting.
Do I sound like I'm a fan of Jonathan Klecks right there? Almost exactly 42 months ago?
That the Lord sent me on this path when I'm actually driving over the Hoover Dam. When I've shown y'all that.
Hey, Jonathan, can we go take a look at the Joshua trees?
I just find it interesting. The timing is just phenomenal.
Johnny,
all right,
can we go to the Joshua trees?
All right, I'll go to God.
Please? Okay, thanks.
Okay, so we're coming up to the Hoover Dam here.
Oh, they're still going to Hoover Dam?
I'm going to get
yeah, you got to go there first.
I'm probably not going to stop. I just want to document it. You know, I told you the story about the kitchen.
Yeah, I heard the story.
The morning I left for this trip, it was so strange.
Hey, look, he almost looks like he's in my passenger seat.
That's strange.
That is strange.
I guess I'm going over it. I would have had to go to the scenic overlook. It's like I'm just... Okay,
What is that? That's the scenic overlook.
Explosion and fire have been reported at the Hoover Dam.
I would have had to go to the scenic overlook. It's like I'm just... Okay, I stand corrected. I wasn't sure if that was it or
Yeah, you're not too sure, are you? What's with that pyramid?
Boulder City, Hoover Dam.
That's
What the hell's doing that?
That's Liberty 1 and 2 coming up. You didn't even know.
Johnny, I want to see the Joshua trees. Come on, let's go.
There, that's the third one. And then October 3rd, Bat-Cat passed away. And then I did the Bat-Cat bit because I didn't believe that the cat actually passed away. So I was, I have the same exact color cat, of course. And I have the same exact name dog, Bowie, of course. So I wasn't saying that I believed the story. And ever since then, I was attacking them, coming after them. False prophet. All right? False prophet. October 31st, 2019. He still didn't call me a nerd yet. Although the very first comment, he was talking directly to me. And then it just kept going. 3 hours ago, December 18th. Still going up here. I believe this was the day. Tribute to Jonathan Klecks for giving me material for entertaining angels quite aware. Klecks calls me a nerd, saying he goes both ways. Spiritual and sexually. Is it not true? Pretty girls. Now, when you say both ways, knowing the forward and backwards ligaments of the body, but not realizing at the time when I said it, I was still attacking him in a sense. But once he said that, I kind of slowed down from it because it was a leap year. He did it 3 years ago, almost, which means one more year would be the first birthday that you can say from it. The locusts of Revelation are coming. Confess and repent now. Repent. The message is here. This was the video that he called me a nerd with. Then the bridegroom, he's here, party, and that's when it's done. Telling you about not sending money, holding position. Oh, I'm making predictions that never came true. So there you have it. That's my history with Jonathan Klecks. All the screenshots that I took. Oh, if you don't like it, don't care. Johnny Vampire. What's in the box, Will Smith? Same thing in the when you're in the shower. Is that what is in the box? Because if you look at it where he's kneeling, his front knees are bent, his front knees, and then this would be the tail that comes out, basically hold him up. Pulp Fiction, what's in the suitcase? Yep. Eating the wiener. He thought it was funny back then. Look at that. Just telling you what's going to happen to you, Robin. This is what's going to happen.
The 8th of June.
Let's back to this.
44% on my battery life.
June 28th.
All right.
44%. It's the hospital I'm born at. It's written 44 is on the helipad landing zone. And it went to 13. So 44 to 13. The power, subtract, which would be 31 to Eagles score.
There's some things we got to look at, so let's check it out. Oh, yeah. June 28th, I believe, is Robin's birthday. And I've already done a decode on June 28, 2018, Robin Henry T's. I should put. But yeah, there's a good link in that. There's a good tie into that, Robin. So, after Trump goes and meets with this is a huge date. The 13th of this month after.
13th of this month after. So this is number 13 again. 13 days after June 28th, in any day, any year, is going to be 7/11. And that's when Trump was there at 7/11.
After Trump goes and meets with Kim Jong-un, a.k.a. Chiang Mai. That's a.k.a., you know.
Yeah.
But from the 13th to this date, a lot of things are going to take place. Keep your eye on it. Former President Barack Obama will headline a high-dollar fundraiser for the Democratic National Committee on June 28th, hoping to give a boost to the party committee to advise advance of midterms. Advance committee to advise advance of midterms.
That's what it is. I always thought Andrew sounded different, but it's just the fact that he's always been shaken. So he's been vibrating. Why do you vibrate all the time?
The event is being billed as a gala dinner.
That just sounds like you're on a shaking machine.
Interesting word to decode. With tickets starting at $2,700 a person. So get your tickets, guys. The Higher Ground Productions. This is tied in with Netflix. Higher Ground. He was set up in the holy place upon that new block that they put up on the Georgia Guidestone. Oh, my phone's going dead. How funny. I just had 44%. Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
Higher Ground Productions. 44%, now it's at 7. I mean, can it get any weird? On February 11, Bloomberg Business News reported that China was seeking guarantees.
Child seeking guarantees. 44% guarantees.
That can back me up on this. There will be China boots, and there will be boots on the ground of Russia and China.
There's a China boot. Military women, female soldier, specifically female soldier. Military women, military muscle. Female military boot. Where it's the 144. The 400, which is the 144. I'm focusing in on the last 4 videos. Pushing the envelope.
On being just a pure white apron of lambskin. Thus, it will be seen that our apron is a very honorable garment, one that we should treasure. It is an apron made of lambskin, pure white. Incidents. Why was Kim Jong-un's letter to Trump so big?
Because it gave him it's the Super Bowl package, scores and everything, complete details. In Super Bowl 57. 44 plus 13 is 57. So that would be Super Bowl 57. The Eagles have landed. And they're going to play the Kansas City. We're not in Kansas anymore. Wizard of Oz, pray.
Followed in their father's footsteps and visited the Holy Land. And like their dad, got a tattoo on their arms depicting 5 crosses.
5 touchdowns, 35 points.
5 crosses, and 3 crowns of Jerusalem.
3 field goals, 9 points, which is 44 altogether. Total score in the envelope, 44.
Power just went from 44 to 13. 44 to 13.
Subtract 13, that gets you the Kansas City Chiefs score. The Eagles, 31, and then 13, Kansas City. 57, 26, 16, down dynasty.